says he and the Parrish family believe Ronald Parrish didn't have to die.
Officers are not being trained in how to deal with mental illness, with things like dementia, and it's leading to, in some cases, and I'm not passing judgment here yet because we still don't know all the facts, but in some cases, it's leading to an excessive use of force because of a lack of understanding of these conditions.
Know that he's going to be serving prison time. That was the last contact with her. It was probably a month earlier. Now all of a sudden, less than 24 hours before he's sentenced, we get an email saying just the absolute opposite from what we heard. I'll let you figure that out for yourself, but I think that's a good question that they need to answer, because I don't understand that one either. He was charged with 4 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor.
Anytime a public official who is entrusted with taking care of the city and having the interest of the residents first, anytime they are implicated in any sort of impropriety or any sort of wrongdoing, that makes people question whether or not the government is working on their behalf, and it makes them wonder whether or not they should trust the government.
You're right. You've disparaged the firefighters. You've disparaged the National Guard. You know all that. I mean, you had it all. You were serving this country. You had it all. And this is a primary example of how certain aspects of our life, if left unchecked, can ruin us.
And today, a judge now ruling there is enough evidence to move forward with a trial in a federal lawsuit against members of a Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force. The task force is being accused of shooting a woman during a raid when they were looking for a man who didn't even live there. It happened in 2019, and according to the suit, local law enforcement stormed a home in Wilmer to arrest Nicholas McLeod on drug charges. McLeod wasn't there, but during the raid, officers shot and wounded a 19-year-old woman who was in the home. That woman, Ann Riley McLeod, who goes by her last name Riley, sued the officers after it turned out the man they were looking for was already in Mobile Metro Jail. The civil complaint contends that Riley thought intruders were breaking into the home when agents arrived, and her attorney says she grabbed a gun for protection. The lawsuit alleges that agents on the task force fired more than 16 times, hitting Riley at least 5 times. Her attorney says she has more than $100,000 in medical bills and still has a bullet near her spine. The trial will be ruled on by a judge, not a jury. It has not been set yet, but parties involved will have a hearing in November.
The 2 people who were inside the Dodge were killed. 2 officers in the police cruiser are in critical condition. Police confirm that this was not a police chase.
Very, very serious situation, a very active scene right now. Believe that both passengers in this Durango are dead. You can absolutely see the devastation of this Dodge Durango right here, as well as the devastation on the squad car. The 2 police officers currently in critical condition. Not exactly sure what happened or what caused this accident, but this Durango appears to be flipped over. We talked to Warren Police Department Lieutenant John Gajewski, who spoke to 7 News Detroit, and this is what he had to say about all of this morning.
It appears the officers were southbound. They were not involved in a vehicle pursuit. We do know that. But as far as their exact purpose and the driving behaviors beforehand on both the officer's vehicle and the Dodge Durango, it's just too early on to tell. I don't want to speculate. We want to get to the bottom of this just like everybody.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. You know I really appreciate it. We're going to start our day out looking at this goofball from Baldwin County, Alabama. BCSO, deputy arrested on domestic violence harassment charge. He's a bad one, but we got some really bad apples today, so let's just get on with it. A Baldwin County Sheriff's deputy has been placed on administrative leave following an arrest on a domestic violence harassment charge. According to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office, Loxley Police arrested BCSO Sergeant Jason Kolb late Sunday evening. Authorities gave no details on the incident that led to his arrest. Oh, we got to speculate, you guys. Let's look at him and speculate. I speculate he had a few too many beers. Okay, I'm a legend. Okay, on Mobile, the BCSO and Kolb has been placed on administrative leave, and a professional standards investigation is underway. Oh, he doesn't look very professional to me, but he looks good in orange. Okay, all right, on with the show.
Continuing to learn more about the deadly officer-involved shooting in Muscle Shoals from Sunday night. The shooting followed a call to police by family members who wanted help for Ronald Parrish, who was suffering from dementia. News 19 Shoals Bureau Chief Whitney Leibold spoke with the Parrish family attorney, who says police mishandled a mental health crisis. The Muscle Shoals Police Department says Parrish refused multiple requests to cooperate.
Around 6 o'clock Sunday night, a family member of 68-year-old Ronald Parrish called the police, hoping to get him some medical attention. Attorney Tyler Mann says Parrish had been struggling with dementia. Sunday night, he was walking around his home carrying a steak knife.
The family tells me that they were just looking for some help, whether that was to get him to the hospital or just to calm him down. In talking with them, I do not get the feeling that the family felt like they were in danger.
Mann tells News 19 when police got to the home, Parrish didn't cooperate with them.
From witnesses, and these are his sons who were in the house when this happened, which is the other tragic thing. Apparently he was tased once or twice and then was shot, and the gunshots are what ultimately ended his life.
Mann, a personal injury attorney, grew up in Muscle Shoals and has known the Parrish family for years. He said Ronald Parrish was well known in the community and even worked at the Tennessee Valley Authority for years. His family is reeling from the shock of his death.
They're heartbroken. They're devastated, as you can imagine, and they want answers. They want to understand fully why this happened.
On Friday, July 28, 2023, information was provided to MPD command staff that an officer allegedly engaged in sexual misconduct with a minor. MPD immediately began investigating the allegations and suspended the officer pending the outcome of the investigation. Based on the information obtained during the investigation, Mooresville Police Department obtained search and arrest warrants on August 1st, 2023. With assistance from the Catawba County Sheriff's Office on Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, Officer Matthew Beebe, 37, of Sherrills Ford, was arrested, charged with 4 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Beebe was placed in Iredell County Detention Center at the time under a $60,000 secured bond. We were as alarmed as the public was with these allegations. We knew it would be a black mark against the department, but we believed then, as we do now, that moving quickly on this and being as transparent as we could with the public would be the only appropriate course of action for us to take. We also knew by the evidence that we gathered that there would be additional charges against Beebe and the chance for additional victims to be identified. As we anticipated, there was evidence seized at Beebe's home in Catawba County. Based on this evidence, additional charges were filed against Beebe. In the month of August 2024, we were contacted by the special prosecutor, Donna Rainwater, that Beebe would be taking a plea on September 24th, 2024. This plea would include prison time. On December 23rd, 2024, less than 24 hours before the sentencing of Beebe, an MPD investigator was contacted by Special Prosecutor Rainwater via email. In this email, Rainwater mentioned that, and I'm quoting here, he is pleading to 2 counts of indecent liberties from Iredell and 1 count from Catawba and will receive consecutive probationary sentences, 30-year registry, and surrender his LEO certificate. This is the most outrageous prosecution I have witnessed in almost my 4 decades in this profession. This man committed despicable acts on a minor. At the same time, this predator continued to lead his double life and put on his public face to serve as a police officer with the town of Mooresville. The men and women that make up the Mooresville Police Department work so hard every day to serve this community. They are very much aware that this there is a distrust of the police. This is why we treat everyone fairly, with dignity and respect. We hold our officers accountable if they do not treat everyone with those same values. The ones that don't buy into this philosophy learn very early on that there is no safe place for them to land at the Mooresville Police Department. A decision like this widens the gap of distrust between the police and the whole criminal justice system. Putting a predator like BB back on the streets is not only dangerous, but irresponsible. The MPD, the Board of Commissioners you see behind me, the town manager, and the dozens and dozens of people that have reached out to me every day since last week on this and about this sentencing want and deserve answers to this debacle.
He was sentenced to spending the next 36 months in prison. Now, Schaefer took a plea deal and agreed to plead guilty to 2 counts, gross sexual imposition and sexual battery. Both are third-degree felonies. Fairfield County deputies arrested Schaefer after he had a sexual contact with a woman that was not consensual. Now, Schaefer's been active duty Air Force for 21 years and a firefighter for 17 years. He has resigned from the Columbus Division of Fire. Now, in court, a victim's advocate spoke on behalf of the victim. Schaefer told the judge he's sorry for his actions and takes full responsibility.
Ever since that day, I have hurt in ways I didn't know was possible. A battle with extreme feelings of numbness and shock. I am overwhelmingly hurt, sad, angry, and confused. What he did was demoralizing.
I made the worst mistake of my life. I'm an alcoholic. I drank in excess and made a terrible mistake. I can't even begin to imagine the turmoil my actions have created and how it has impacted the victim.
And in your case, you cite alcoholism, an alcohol problem. You know, I have a hard time believing that an alcohol problem can lead to something like this.
Here's more breaking news.
Starts now. A former Hernando police officer has lost its badge after being charged with rape and sexual assault. The DeSoto County District Attorney's Office identified the officer as Hosey Porter. Thank you for being with us tonight at 9. I'm Daryl Green. Darcy Thomas is off tonight. And tonight we've learned that Porter was working as a school resource officer at the time of this alleged crime. Fox 13 Sierra Jordan is live at Hernando. So Sierra, the former officer has bonded out of jail, you found out.
Yeah, Daryl, Hosey Porter's bond was set at $50,000, but like you said, he is now out of jail. He's facing charges including rape and sexual assault, but that does not involve a student. Now, we spoke to parents, and they were shocked about these allegations. Oh! I know him! That was the reaction of parents we spoke with about the former Hernando police officer charged with sexual assault and rape. DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton says Hosey Porter was working as a school resource officer and on duty during the time of the alleged incident, but did not give details on where the incident happened.
The complaint was made by an adult. There were no children that were harmed or victimized. There's no reason at this point to believe that there was.
They say the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation was immediately notified. Porter was placed on administrative leave and turned himself to the police, but officials say he posted bond which was set at $50,000.
I've seen him numerous times on campus.
Fox 13 went digging and found these pictures of Porter on social media. This photo shows Porter graduating from the Hernando Police Academy back in 2017, and another photo taken this year in August, placing him as an SRO at Hernando Middle School. Kenya Evans says her son goes to Hernando High School, which is just feet away from the middle school. Evans was caught by surprise after we told her the charges he is facing.
He appeared to be a nice guy. I mean, I would just, walk and, hey, how are you? And, we used to like, how's your day going? I mean, he appeared to be just a nice guy, a genuine guy. I would never suspect that he would do something like that.
Well, we're not surprised at all here on the Bad Apple Report. Are we, folks? No, we're not. In fact, we're going to put him on the cover of the Bad Apple Report. He's so bad, okay? Thanks for being here, folks. On with the show.
William Braddock was Luna's primary opponent in 2021 when he said he was going to, quote, call up my Russian-Ukrainian hit squad, unquote, and make her disappear. The threats were recorded during a telephone conversation. Take a listen.
Now we have access to a hit squad too, Ukrainians and Russians. Luna's going to go down, and I hope it's by herself. My polling people are going to charge me $20,000 to do a poll right before the primary. And if the poll says Luna's going to win, she's going to be gone. She's going to disappear.
Dang.
And you cannot tell anybody that.
I would never tell anybody.
For the good of our country, we have to sacrifice the few.
Braddock is charged with 1 count of interstate transmission of a true threat to injure another person. He faces 5 years in prison if convicted. According to the Justice Department, Braddock fled to the Philippines after he made the comments. He was deported, returned to the United States, and made his first court appearance in Los Angeles on Thursday. The Justice Department said there was a second victim who was described as a private citizen, but their name remains sealed. This case is part of the Justice Department's Election Threats Task Force, which focuses on threats of violence against election workers and ensures all those who are elected, appointed, or volunteering can do their job without intimidation.
Okay. We've got so many bad apples today, I'm just going to get right on with the show without too much additional commentary. So this former Polk County deputy has been arrested for exposure of his organs, officials say. According to the Sheriff's Office, Rodney Isaiah Williams III, oh, you just made the whole family proud, Rodney, admitted to his actions and resigned shortly after his arrest. I'm sure Sheriff Grady is so proud of you. I can't wait to see his report on this. No, we're not going to watch that. The Polk County Sheriff's Office has arrested and charged this 20-year-old deputy who officials say was part of their agency for unlawful exposure of sexual organs. Idiot. The incident happened on Saturday, according to the Sheriff's Office. Rodney Isaiah Williams III was observed completely nude in full view of camera at his apartment complex in Davenport. He was off duty at the time. What an idiot. Okay, deputies responded to the incident and interviewed Williams, who, they said, admitted to stepping outside of his apartment and taking such actions for the thrill, and then stated that he did something stupid. Yes. We would expect nothing less right here on the Bad Apple Report. Okay, this vulgar and indecent behavior by one of, it's going to be great. Now, former agency members is completely unacceptable, not to mention illegal, Sheriff Grady Judd said in a statement. Blah, we will never tolerate such immoral and illegal conduct. Jeez, Grady. This is why he was promptly arrested. All right. Williams resigned immediately after his arrest. Thank you, Sheriff, for allowing him to resign and so we can keep paying him. You couldn't just fire his ass? No. He had not. Had he not resigned, officials said he would have been terminated. Blah. Williams remains behind bars and is being held on $1,000 bond. Okay, let's crowdfund that, you guys, according to the Sheriff's Office. All right. He made us that happy. We should crowdfund it. No, just kidding. All right. Listen, we have a lot of bad apples today. Let's move on with the show.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and the number 2 person in her administration, Chief Administrative Officer Gilbert Montano, have not been charged with any crimes, but they are referenced in the indictment handed up against former New Orleans contractor Randy Farrell. Specifically, one of the allegations against Farrell is that he gave Cantrell, who's identified in the indictment as Public Official 1, tickets to Saints games and other gifts. And the indictment referenced Montano as Public Official 2 and alleges that he asked a person referred to as Businessman 1 for tickets to a football game.
A lot of businesses in particular have choices about where they locate their business. They would like to go somewhere where the government is viewed as above board. The political environment weighs very heavily in the minds of businesses who are thinking of relocating to certain areas.
Friday, Cantrell's attorney would not comment on Farrell's indictment. Montano says he's never been contacted by the FBI or received anything from Farrell, and further said tickets go around the city all the time and that he gets tickets all the time, but it doesn't mean he sells his integrity or reputation.
Okay, you guys, some people just look the part, and this cop really looks good as a jailbird, does he not? Look at that. What a goofball. Okay, former Pocahontas officer, now former always. He's been arrested for alleged possession of child stuff. Okay, a Pocahontas police officer was fired and has been arrested. See, now that's how you do it. You fire him. You don't let him resign. He's, after an investigation revealed alleged possession of child sexual abuse material. Okay, and here's the release. Let's see what they have to say. The Pocahontas Police Department, in collaboration with the Arkansas State Police and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force from the Jonesboro Police Department, conducted an internal investigation that began in late June involving former officer Arthur Cockrell. We had Cockrell on the other day, I'm pretty sure. This is a little update to old Cockrell, the old Cockrell ring. During this investigation, Mr. Cockrell was terminated from his position with the Pocahontas Police Department. On September 19th, 2024, the Pocahontas Police Department issued a warrant for Cockrell's arrest under the Arkansas Code Liberty Law. These codes pertain to the possession, distribution, and or viewing of child sexual abuse material. On Monday, September 23rd, 2024, approximately 7:30 a.m. Oh, Cockrell, you should have been watching the Bad Apple Report. He probably was. That's so funny, you guys. Cockrell voluntarily turned himself in. He's like, I should be watching the Bad Apple Report. That's what he was thinking. He appeared in a Randolph County District Court later that same day where his bond was set at $25,000. See, wouldn't it have been cheaper to not be a dipstick? Okay. Again, the charges are merely accusations. We ain't alleging anything here on the Bad Apple Report. We're going to put him on the cover, though, because he looks so good dressed as a jailbird. And, anyways, presumed innocent unless proven guilty. The Pocahontas, blah, blah, blah. That's them. All right, check him out. That's it. On with the show. Again, with the look. They have a look. Diddlers. Okay, the trial. This guy's a DA, deputy DA. Trial update postponed again for former Colorado Springs deputy DA and a church leader accused of child stuff. Okay, so what was your first clue, folks? All right. The former deputy district attorney and Colorado Springs Mormon church leader accused of sexual assault of a child will not go on trial at the end of the month as previously scheduled. David McConkey, 45, a former president of the East Stake within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, appeared in court Monday morning for a motions hearing ahead of his trial, which was scheduled on October 8th. I don't know if we really care about this, do we? What's going on here? Oh, McConkey blew, cry. Listen, so his trial's pushed back. Here's what you need to know. These predator creepos, they lurk right out there in the government realm. That's right. And also in the church realm. And also in the private realm. Keep an eye out for diddlers.
The issue coming into the spotlight recently after John Kerry, former President Obama's Secretary of State, called the First Amendment a major block in having any sort of accountability on facts from the media. His remarks highlighting the debate over free speech and controversial efforts to police fake news or disinformation.
There's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. What we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change.
We're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation. It's one thing to have differing opinions, but it's another thing entirely to just say things that are false. And so that's something that we're looking into.
Flashback to 1949.
Lawmakers backed what was called the Fairness Doctrine out of concern the three main networks then, NBC, ABC, and CBS, could misuse their broadcast licenses to set a biased public agenda. Their fix? The FCC enacted the Fairness Doctrine, requiring media to cover controversial issues of public importance and require them to present both sides to a story with differing viewpoints. The doctrine stayed in effect for decades until President Ronald Reagan's administration abolished it in 1987 over concerns it violated First Amendment rights.
And that's our show for today, folks. Thank you so much for being here to watch the Bad Apple Report this morning, just like every morning right here at home on the range. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to whip up another batch of Bad Apples just for you, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Have a great day.